Princess Araya of the Vellari Empire had been trained from the time her tendrils first bloomed to keep her emotions locked away. A still face meant power. A trembling hand meant weakness. And weakness could mean death in the fractious political world of the Vellari. So when her hand trembled, only slightly, the faintest quiver of her third finger, she quickly tucked it behind the folds of her ceremonial robe. He was walking toward her again. The human. Commander Eric Thorne, war hero of the Soul Coalition. Tall, broad, grim-eyed. The kind of warrior whose gaze cut through steel and whose voice once shattered Aresh warlords will over an open channel. He had been sent as part of the Coalition Vellari peace envoy. Symbolic gesture. A token human. No real power. Not a threat. But the room had felt smaller every time he entered it. And her hands. Her hands were betraying her. Araya forced her voice into its practiced cadence. Commander Thorne. You arrive unannounced. Eric Thorne stopped at the foot of the elevated platform where her throne hovered above the silverstone floor. He bowed. Just enough to respect her station, but not enough to show deference. He never groveled. Humans rarely did. I thought we were past ceremony, he said. After all, we've been sitting in the same room for 6 weeks. We've been negotiating, she said. Not bonding. You haven't looked at me the same since the incident on Helix Moon. Her hand twitched again. This time she didn't hide it. Helix Moon. The ambush. The assassins. He had saved her. 3 Vellari guards died that day. Eric Thorne didn't. Instead, he killed 2 of the assassins with a broken vibrospear and dragged her, bleeding, through a ravine to safety. He could have run. Could have left her. But he didn't. No one had protected her like that before. Not without wanting something. Why are you here, Thorne? She asked softly. I'm leaving tomorrow. The peace is signed. My duty's done. He looked up at her, and for a heartbeat, he wasn't a soldier. I came to say goodbye. Araya stood. Protocol would say she should remain seated. Let him bow and walk away. Never show vulnerability. But something within her snapped. I don't want you to go, she said. He stared at her. And then slowly he took a step closer. She could see the tension in his shoulders. I'm a human, princess. A walking political inconvenience. They'll replace me with a diplomat, or a smiley face with no spine. But you're royalty. Your people would never allow you to be with someone like me. She stepped down the dais. 1 step. Then another. Each footfall echoed like a drumbeat. You think I care about politics, she whispered. You think I'm afraid of them. I think you've spent your life surviving in a pit of wolves, he said. I don't want to be the reason they turn on you. I'd rather die with someone who sees me, she said, than live another year surrounded by those who don't. His voice was ragged. You don't know what you're saying. She reached out, and for once she didn't hide the tremble in her hand. She placed it on his chest. I know exactly what I'm saying. It didn't take long for the whispers to start. A Vellari princess walking with a human warrior. Dining with him in the gardens under the twin moons. Treasonous. Blasphemous. Some called it a scandal. Others a revolution. The high houses stirred. Assassins prowled again. But Eric was always ready. So was she. He taught her how to hold a human firearm. She taught him how to move in the shadow silk robes of the Vellari elite. They were opposites in every way. She glided like a dancer, her mind sharp as razors. He moved like a beast of war, blunt but loyal. They learned to speak each other's languages. Not just the words but the meanings behind them. The human phrase, "I've got your back," made her laugh the first time she heard it. What does that mean? She asked. It means I'll protect you. No matter what. She never laughed at it again. The first attempt on her life after the peace accords came not from rebels or radicals, but from within the palace. A counselor, House Tremble, had arranged for her to be poisoned during a state banquet. The wine was laced. Eric saw the shimmer on the surface before she sipped. He knocked the goblet from her hand. Araya rose from her seat. Controlled. Then she drew Eric's sidearm from his holster and executed the counselor with a single shot. The room had fallen silent. Then she turned to Eric, handed back his weapon and said, "Thank you for having my back. War doesn't always come with guns. Sometimes it comes in words." The high houses demanded her abdication. The Vellari Empress, Araya's mother, summoned her to the core chamber. "You have shamed your bloodline," the Empress said coldly. "I have honored it," Araya replied. "You taught me to choose strength. Eric is strong. He is human. They age and die in blinks. He will not live long enough to rule beside you. Then I will rule alone. But not without him. You would trade the empire for a human's touch?" Araya stepped forward until she was eye to eye with the Empress. "No. I would trade you." The coup began 5 nights later. House Tremble's allies struck at the palace gates. Orbital cannons bombarded the outer domes. Eric and Araya fought back to back in the throne chamber, her blade singing, his rifle roaring. He was hit once. Then again. "Keep going," he shouted. "You're the future," he screamed. Not in fear but in fury. The Vellari saw it then. Not just the royal guards. The common folk. The soldiers. Even the dissenters. They saw a princess not running from war, but leading it. Fighting for her people. And for the human bleeding beside her. Reinforcements came from the city. Loyalists. Civilians. Even rival houses. They rallied to her. The coup was crushed within hours. Eric woke in a medbay days later. Half his ribs rebuilt with alloy mesh. She was there when he opened his eyes. Holding his hand. "You made me a queen," she whispered. He blinked. "Wait, did I miss your coronation?" "You slept through it," she smirked. "Well damn. Bet I looked good in the speech." She leaned down and kissed him. "Thank you," she whispered, "for having my back." 2 years later. The Vellari Empire no longer stood on its own. It stood beside the Soul Coalition. At the edge of the royal garden, under the glass canopy of blooming crystal leaf trees, a human and a Vellari stood before their people. Queen Araya, clad in silver armor etched with Vellari glyphs. Commander Eric Thorne, dressed not in military gear, but in ceremonial whites. They clasped hands. "The Vellari taught me how to rule," Eric said. "But this woman, she taught me how to hope." "And the humans," Araya said, "taught me what it means to choose love over fear." They exchanged vows. Not just of marriage, but of alliance. Not just between peoples but between hearts. The galaxy would never forget the war. But it would remember what came after. A queen whose hands once trembled. And the human warrior who gave her the strength to stop hiding them.